We're going to move on and look at the newspapers now. Dipty's joining us here on set. Dipty, you're looking first of all at those reactions to the drowning deaths of 50 migrants on Sunday. This was off the coast of Tunisia, wasn't it?
That's right, and the hunt for survivors still continues. This as that boat capsized, killing dozens of migrants, mostly Tunisian citizens. Now, for the Tunisian website Babnet, it sums up a grim fate that pushes many of these Tunisian citizens to exile. I quote, they either end up eaten by sharks in the sea or by the big fish of Tunisian politics. And for this website, Tunisia's ruling political classes are to blame for this dire situation. It's their fault that living conditions have not improved, that unemployment hasn't improved, and that's pushing these people to make that perilous journey across the Mediterranean. Indeed, the website notes that Tunisians now are the second largest group of migrants trying to reach Italy. This after last year being in 8th place.
You found a fascinating piece as well in Le Monde. This is looking at the fate of an undocumented Tunisian man here in France. And his story is pretty similar, in fact, isn't it, Dipty? That of the child-saving Mamoudou Gassama. You'll remember him from this time last week. He also saved 2 children, in fact, from a burning building, but he's actually facing deportation.
And it sparked a lot of bitterness from his camp, as you can imagine, quite understandably. Their similar heroics and very different fates have notably captured the attention of Le Parisien newspaper. The young Tunisian man's name is Ayman. Now, he's a computer degree-holding young man who came here illegally 5 years ago, and in 2015, along with 2 friends, he helped save 2 children from an apartment fire. This rescue wasn't mediatized, it wasn't filmed, nobody really knew about it, even though he did receive bravery honors from local French authorities. Now he's facing deportation. His lawyer has actually lodged an appeal with Emmanuel Macron, essentially demanding why and essentially demanding that Ayman gets the same treatment that Mamoudou did.
Italy's newly appointed Interior Minister, Matteo Salvini, was in Sicily on Sunday. He stepped up his anti-immigrant rhetoric, hasn't he?
The new Italian Interior Minister displayed the anti-immigrant politics of the new government. That's what Le Figaro, the right-leaning paper, says on its front page. Salvini had this very strong message for illegal immigrants. I quote, "The good times for undocumented immigrants is over. Prepare to pack your bags." Now, El País, the Spanish daily, calls him the xenophobic vice president of the Italian Council. The Spanish daily saying, I quote, "Salvini keeps saying that Italy is being invaded by migrants, but the paper reminds us that the number of migrants arriving in Italy has actually decreased by 70% this year."
Now, let's go to a story which is all over the British newspapers today. Here it is in the Times, in fact. It makes page 4 there, but it's in a lot of the front pages as well, in fact, isn't it?
It's making a lot of the front pages today, Stuart. The Eye particularly reporting on this study published by the New England Journal of Medicine that found that women with early stage breast cancer, where the tumors have not spread to the lymph nodes, could be able to avoid chemotherapy and still successfully fight the disease, or at least have a fighting chance of battling the disease. It's a really big deal, according to one co-author of that study, because, as I said, it essentially means that the tumors that have not spread to the lymph nodes, that's considered early stage breast cancer. And that means women could potentially just get a genetic test to see if chemotherapy is actually necessary or not. It is, as the Daily Mirror says on its front page, somewhat of a breast cancer revolution.
OK, could be a big step. We hope so. Tennis news now here on France 24. L'Equipe is looking at France's last hope. Here she is in the French Open ladies singles.
She's actually France's last hope for ladies and men's combined, because there are no more men's French tennis players left in the French Open. She is the face of French tennis. That's what L'Equipe hails about Caroline Garcia, the French women's #1 and world #7. She's advanced to the round of 16 and is even daring now to think about the coveted Grand Slam trophy. It must be said, L'Equipe is also looking at another big match this Monday. Stuart, Maria Sharapova and Serena Williams face off in the round of 16. Both are coming back from long absences. Of course, Sharapova for suspension and Williams for maternity leave. They're playing each other for the first time since 2016. Serena Williams has won 19 of their last 21 matches. No doubt Sharapova is hoping to put an end to that today.
OK, big event later on at Roland Garros here in Paris. Finally from Dipti, let's cheer things up a little bit if we can. The world of fashion.
I know you always love our little tidbits on
of course,
fashion, right?
I follow them religiously.
Well, The Guardian is giving us a heads up about what you might want to be wearing on your summer holidays this year. They call it fashion's perfect storm of shoe ugliness, and I think that really says it all. These days, apparently, the uglier your shoes, the more trendy you are.
Oh, okay.
Louis Vuitton recently released thigh-high latex trainer boots. Nike here, as you see, released the bum bag for your feet combo. Bum bags on sandals.
On your flip-flops.
Or flip-flops.
Yeah.
We've also seen, that's a monstrosity, the Croc sock for $140. Socks with integrated Crocs with integrated socks.
My goodness.
I'm sure there is a certain group of tourists that might love that.
Yeah, exactly.
The Guardian says it's proof of change in the industry, though, suggesting that beauty and ugliness are not two separate things, but mutually inclusive.
I wish it worked for faces as well as for
Socks
footwear. No, the bit about whatever it was, you know, being ugly, being in fashion.
Oh,
that would
thanks for pointing at me when
that would be helpful. No. Tipsy. Heaven forbid. Thank you. Dipti Laurent with the papers on France 24. More from her a little bit later on in the programme, of course. After the break, of course, we will bring you up to date with all the very latest news here on France 24. And as France once again considers its laws on euthanasia, we're going to be reporting today from Belgium, where it was decriminalised, in fact, in 2002. And in 2014, Belgium even became the first country in the world to allow euthanasia for minors. We're going to be reporting on that in the next half hour of the programme.